I've been trick-or-treated to death tonight.
You don't know what death is.
Horror movies, mutilation, decapitation, torture. Does that sound entertaining? More blood than a blood bank. Have we got your attention?
Welcome back, terrestrials, to the Quarantine Movie Reviews, and our Halloween Spooktacular Special continues. In this episode, it's Halloween 2. The plotline for Halloween 2 is, while Sheriff Brackett and Dr. Loomis hunt for Michael Myers, a traumatized Laurie is rushed to the hospital, and the serial killer is not too far behind. Cut all that together and make it seem like I even know how to read. So that's Halloween 2's. All right. So that's Halloween 2's plotline, and I mean it's Halloween 2.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. I gotta make sure I remember what I'm doing. I got just Halloween 2 wrote down on a piece of paper.
But yeah, so this movie, like it says,
it's a continuation of the first one.
Yeah, it's a continuation of the first one, and it just takes place in a hospital. It's pretty much the only setting except for the hospital's parking lot.
Yeah.
And it's just Michael Myers just killing everybody in the hospital, which has 0 patients except for Laurie for some reason, and just kills nurses and paramedics and doctors and whoever else stands in his way.
Yeah,
as usual.
What'd you think of this one? Like, what was your as a continuation of the story?
I think it was the obvious choice, but I think it was the right choice as well.
No.
Yeah, okay, so the first one ends, and what do? Well, obviously Laurie's got to go to the hospital.
No.
Is Michael Myers dead? No. Let's make him go after her in the hospital.
Yeah.
It's the obvious plot line from the end of the first one, and I didn't, when I started watching, I was like, damn, I remember not caring about this one. But the more I watched it and the further I got into it, I don't care about the characters in this one, but I did enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
The kills were fun. They were a little ridiculous. But I enjoyed it more this time around than I did last time. So, what'd you think of it?
No. This one's great. I really like the atmosphere of, even though that hospital is empty. Other than the actors, there is nobody ever in this place. You don't even hear Dr. So-and-so come to admitting, you don't hear any of that, But I like that. I like this just void.
Mm-hmm.
The whole movie has that sense of void.
Yeah.
The only thing about this that I would really give grief, other than Jamie Lee Curtis's hair, because in the filming of 1 to this one, she cut her hair and they had to put a silly ass wig on her.
Yeah.
But the only grief that I would give is in Halloween 1, we got this weird timeline. Not start to finish, but what time do you think, in your brain in Halloween 1, do you think Michael Myers finally attacks Jamie Lee Curtis?
I feel like I'm assuming you're saying literal time.
Time at night.
Okay. Yeah, I would say he probably gets to her about. He starts at 9. And then it's over by midnight-ish.
Yeah, midnight-ish. Yeah, you feel like that,
right.
Because, in Halloween 1, there's this absence of cars, or,
right.
She's screaming at the top of her
right.
lungs, and you don't see any trick-or-treaters. And this, they have, after, Michael Myers disappears in the first one, and the cops are all trying to search for her, they go to another road, and there's trick-or-treaters and stuff. So we've shrunk down the timeline now that You know, where in the first one it feels very late at night. This one's saying, no, it's like 8. It's like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Maybe 9.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting because this movie would have had to end at like 4 o'clock in the morning or something. You know what I mean? But like you mentioned, the emptiness of the hospital was nice. Mm-hmm. Nobody turns on lights in this hospital. This hospital is just dark shit.
Yeah.
But it added to the movie very well. It was very
just spooky.
Yeah, it was just spooky. It added a ominous atmosphere.
No. But the kills are mediocre. There aren't, like, there's only a couple that stand out in my head because there are some silly kill moments in this one. The one that really stands out is the girl in the hot tub where Michael Myers turns up the water to, like, boiling and stuff.
Doesn't affect him.
No.
Because his arm's dunked right in there with her head.
He's got the thorn curse. So,
let's not talk about that shit anymore.
Yeah, we're done with that. But that one, and then there's like a couple of kills with the syringe.
Yeah.
Like where he like just stabs with a syringe.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. But other than that, forgettable some points.
Yeah, the majority of the movie's pretty forgettable. But while you're in it, while you're watching it, it's enjoyable.
Were you gonna? You got?
Well, I was just gonna say, okay. Well, so throughout this series, I've said I don't really care for Loomis too much.
Yeah.
And in this movie, it clicked as to why. He's a lighter thief. And I hate lighter thieves, dude. I know a few that will leave the bar with 10 or 15 lighters in their pocket and everybody looking for a lighter, and they think it's funny. Loomis is a dick. He stole the lighter from the sheriff, and I don't like him.
Yeah. You know why he did that in acting? Because he knows if he lights that cigarette, or if he gets the guy to light a cigarette, he's going to be lighting like a pack and a half throughout the filming. They're going to be like, nope, cut, do it again. He's going to have to spit that cigarette out and put a new one in. And so he's like, nope, if I sit there and I twiddle the cigarette and hold the lighter and put it in my pocket, then I don't have to smoke like 400 cigarettes tonight. But yeah, Loomis is interesting, whereas in 4, 5, and 6, Loomis is more of the Ahab, where he has to get Michael. He's good. This one is more of Loomis being a Van Helsing, where he's the only one who knows what this town has, and he's the only one who can, take down or capture or eventually kill, especially in this one, after he shot him 6 times. He is, we have to stop this character, Michael Myers.
Well, in this one, he seemed a little bit more concerned with saving Laurie than so much stopping Michael.
Yeah.
The opportunity arose to stop Michael, so he tried to stop Michael. Yeah. But it seemed more like Laurie's life's in danger. We need to go save Laurie.
It's, like I said, the Ahab and Van Helsing.
Yeah.
Ahab, got to kill that white whale. Van Helsing is more about protecting people from a vampire kind of deal. Until you get to the Hugh Jackman one, and then it just goes all over the fucking place. A couple other things I think that were created in this movie out of nowhere, and the nonsense was, let's go to the school where Michael Myers wrote Samhain.
Yeah.
He wrote Samhain, but they say Samhain and stuff, and it's like, we know that it's pronounced Samhain, dude. So, yeah.
All right, so the school didn't make any sense to me. It was completely unnecessary.
No.
The other thing that really bothered me about this movie, and again, this is just my logical brain taking over instead of just shutting up and enjoying, but when somebody is attacked like that and they are sent to the hospital, and the killer or the attacker is not found, captured, dead, something, typically they'll post a cop outside your room door And they decided against that. They were like, she should be fine in this dark hospital all by herself with no other patients and obscure, up to no good employees that don't really care about the patients. Mm-hmm. So, and what was the relationship with the paramedic and her?
I think the paramedic went to school with her. And
Okay.
wanted to fuck her or something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that was the vibe he gave off, but like, dude, bro, give her 5 minutes.
Yeah,
she got
just
wheeled in. He's like, hey, babe, what's your name?
Yeah, she just had, tragic moment and stuff. Witnessed 2 of her friends dying, and now I'm trying to mac on this patient, this character who's she wasn't in a coma, but she was kind of like out of it for most of it,
she was out of it, and she was kind of paralyzed-ish too for a little while, but
but the mask looked okay. It wasn't the best, but it was okay. It was,
yeah, I mean, it was better than
looked
further down the line. Yeah, it did make him look a little bit fatter.
Yeah,
it was a wide mask.
And then we had that moment in the movie where, like, it's fake Michael Myers.
Yeah.
And he's got blonde hair, and he walks all funny and stuff. And then a car just engulfed in flames for no reason. Mm-hmm. No reason. I love it when cars just, like, spontaneous combustion movie. Because that's what that car did. Because gas tanks are in the middle of a car on the bottom, not in the front where the engine is.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes a lot.
Yeah.
The ending explosion, the explosion at the end.
That was nice.
It was huge. And even if you look, the camera shakes.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, guys, maybe we shouldn't have put 50 gallons of gasoline. Like, everybody was shocked by that. The camera guys were like, oh fuck, we're going to get in trouble for that. But yeah, I mean, the movie overall is good.
Yeah, it still has the cinematography that we're used to with John Carpenter. It has the same soundtrack. It still has that moat. It doesn't feel like we've missed any time, even though we're from 78 to 82, 81. Yeah, I mean, there's a big gap of time in there, but it really doesn't feel, other than Jamie Lee Curtis's weird hair, it does feel like that. And that is an interesting way of doing a sequel or a film. I mean, there's been a lot of films that tried to put, the first one and the second one close together, but it does feel like time is stretched.
They did it unsuccessfully with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
That 3D version that came out or whatever.
Yeah.
That one picked up at the end with like the house on fire and everything like that. So
the sequel, as a sequel,
it was a smooth transition from 1 to 2.
Yeah.
It's a good movie. Mm-hmm. It's a logical movie, the plot line again, but it's kind of forgettable. Like after you watch it, you're kind of like, wait, what happened? And then who did that?
Too much.
Yeah, it just seems like one long movie.
Yeah,
which I'm okay with.
If you watch the first one and the second one back to back, it would feel like a complete story.
Yeah.
The first one by itself feels like a complete story. This, however, because you have to watch the first one to really understand what's happening.
Yeah.
You could not just be like, hey, you want to watch a Halloween movie? Yeah, I've never seen any of them. Oh, let's watch Halloween 2. That would be the worst thing to do to somebody.
This also brings me to my point of Michael Myers with this unnecessary killing that he does later in the series. Like you see in this one, as he's walking to the hospital, there's kids all around him. There's teenagers. They got boom boxes walking directly in front of him, if not bumping into him. And he's just like silent, not even acknowledging their existence. But later, those are random people that he would kill.
Yeah.
Like, that just proves that the later ones are shit.
Yeah, I think this is where, okay, if you were to look at Jason Voorhees as a barbarian warrior, this makes Michael Myers the rogue. He can blend on Halloween night perfectly. You know,
yeah.
and that's what I really enjoyed about these first two is he has that ability to blend. He drove past Loomis in the first movie, and Loomis didn't even he was behind him, but he drove past Loomis, you know, and Loomis didn't know any different because he's a blender. So.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
definitely watch this one. Definitely check it out, especially if you love the first one. Just go ahead and see this one. It's one big, long-ass movie. Jerry, how many stars?
I'm going to give it 3.
3?
I'm going to give it right down the middle, 3. It works well with 1.
Yes.
It has a few little moments, but nothing that will put me off completely.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 3-star movie.
And for all those same reasons, I'll give it 3 stars. So, there you go. Halloween 2.